Okay, 12.8. Mayyeva manātatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayyeva atha urdhvam na samshayah. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Person, you got it, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. So this is very, very important. Fixing mind upon Krishna means not fixing mind upon any other thing. Of course, we have to do our duties, etc., for which we have to engage our mind accordingly. But there are so many things that are not required that we think about. We have to stop that. How do we stop that? As much time as possible, we have to engage in devotional service. So, suppose say we are walking somewhere, going somewhere, etc., and then mind is thinking about these so many things, then we should be chanting. We should have chanting bag or whatever and keep chanting. Otherwise, we might be engaged in reading, hearing, etc. Then mind will be fixed upon Krishna. But when we are not doing any of this, so we have to identify. We have to identify that mind is not on Krishna, and then make sure that link. Make sure that our mind is on Krishna all the time. So Krishna is saying, just fix it upon me. Just fix it. Just fix means like don't think, don't try anything. Just do it like that. Engage all your intelligence in me. So we have so much of intelligence. What do we use it for? Normally people use it for material benefits, gaining material things. But Krishna is saying, fix your intelligence in me. That means that we have to use our intelligence to think, okay, how do we spread Krishna consciousness? How do we make our life more Krishna conscious? Etc. etc. Use our intelligence in topics connected with Krishna. This itself, if we live like this, thinking about Krishna in mind, using mind and intelligence, then Krishna is saying, you will live in me always without a doubt. This is samadhi. Purport. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. Why Prabhupada is saying very beginning? Because unlike other yoga practices, we don't have, it's not like after certain stage only we will be in a direct relationship with Supreme Lord. No, from the beginning, from the time we start devotional service, we are in a direct relationship. We might be in Shanta, not in Shanta, it is in Dasya. Some relationship we have. So that position is transcendental because anything in connection with Krishna is transcendent. There's nothing about Krishna or in relationship with Krishna which is material. For how much ever time we engage in activities of Krishna consciousness, that much time is transcendentally spent. A devotee does not live on the material plane. Now, what does this mean? That means that 24 hours he is engaged in service of Krishna, so he is not living at all on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are not different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, and Krishna and his internal energy are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. Now, dancing on the tongue of the devotee is when devotee is calling with so much love, Lord is dancing on his tongue. We should, if you're chanting in aparada, nama aparada, then this won't happen. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. How one becomes Krishnaized, that one will not understand unless one engages in Krishna conscious activity, engages in only honoring prasadam. Then one becomes Krishnaized. And this is also a matter of consciousness. We have to keep reminding ourselves, saying that, okay, I'm eating Krishna Prasadam, I'm ordering Krishna Prasadam. It is mercy, not just that we are eating some food. So as much as possible, we have to try to raise our consciousness. Normally, because of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, we'll be in lower modes all the time. So our consciousness is also fallen. We have to keep raising the consciousness. Always think Krishna in everything. Okay.
True, it is written that one who does not engage in such service cannot understand. So those who engage in this service, when they can start realizing this, because that is also...
They should start realizing from day one. That is why Prabhupada is saying here is that position is transcendental. Just that because we don't do it with the right consciousness, we don't experience it. So we have to do it with the right consciousness. You're chanting Hare Krishna, conscious that, okay, name of Krishna is not different from Krishna. No, for us, all of this is just mechanical now. Eating food, it has become eating food. Just that I'm not eating outside food. No. So that is why I added those aspects at the end, saying that consciousness has to be raised. That is the effort that we have to put. Activities we are already engaging, but our consciousness is not there.
Yeah, I think realizing the holy name at the same level as Krishna is still easier though. But
okay.
No, let me complete please. So basically what I'm saying is that how do we know that the food which we have offered has accepted by Krishna? See, that is a difficult thing to...
Why Krishna is saying Bhaktya me prayachati? Just see, just like you have faith saying that Krishna's name is not different from Krishna's, just like that you should have faith that I'm offering with love, Krishna is accepting it. If you're not offering with love, then Krishna is not accepting it. Similarly, if you're not chanting with the consciousness that Krishna's name is not different from Krishna, then we are not chanting. It's just a matter of faith.
Yeah, but maybe Krishna is... so basically we might have offered this time with full faith and with full love, but maybe Krishna is unhappy due to some other past...
That's true about that. No. Okay. First of all, that's a speculation what you're making. Second is that that's true about chanting as well. Today he might be happy with us. Tomorrow he might not be happy with us. I mean, this way we can see this. See, Krishna is not playing games with us. Let's be very clear, right? Krishna is a gentleman. He's very clear. He knows we are all nonsense, but still he is ready to accept whatever little we can offer. Right? So we have to see it is all in our consciousness, and see we should stop this. Sorry, I'm stressing this. Don't speculate. Unless you've heard this written somewhere saying that Krishna is whimsical and that he will become upset tomorrow about something that we have done in the past. Have you read this anywhere in Prabhupada's books? No, means it doesn't happen. None of our thoughts should be independent of Prabhupada's writings.
Yeah, that is
right? And for that, then we have to search. Oh, suppose I feel, okay, Krishna is like this. Then look for Krishna is whimsical in Veda base or something like this, right? So the whole point I'm making is that we should not speculate. Krishna has very clearly said. That is why Prabhupada says, right? Understand Bhagavad Gita as it is. Don't interpret. Krishna is saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Simple. I accept. If you don't do it with bhakti, then he may or may not accept. That is left to him. But if you offer with bhakti, then there's no doubt. It's not like saying, no, I still don't want to accept what you're offering. It's like, it doesn't happen that way.
So basically, when the mistakes from Bhakta, he will forgive basically. And then every time he will look forward for the fresh behavior, and he just concerns about what you're doing.
Absolutely. But at the same time, if the devotee is willingly committing the same mistake again and again, then he will do something about it. As in, he will create a situation such that either we overcome that nonsense. But Krishna doesn't give up on us. He is not like, okay, this guy is useless anyway. Day in and day out, year after year, he is doing the same nonsense. Let me just forget about him. No. Krishna is not like that. Once we have come to him, unless we want to get away from him and they say, Krishna, I don't want you. Then also Krishna will be like, literally, he will want to retain us somehow. He doesn't want to lose us. Because hardly, any soul comes to him. So he will definitely want to retain us. And then he will, through various means, interventions, he will want to retain us. Specifically, spiritual master, through spiritual master. But generally he doesn't get fed up with us, right? It doesn't. So we don't have to worry about Krishna being upset. If Krishna was upset with us, we would have no hopes to survive, no hopes to going back, nothing, right? Hopeless case if Krishna were to get upset with us about us or all the nonsense that we have done. And at least I can talk about myself doing every day, even today. If Krishna becomes upset with us, then what hope is there in life?
Everyone, I am also in the same situation, bro. Much more than you, maybe.
Okay. Move ahead.
Yes, bro.
Okay. 12.9. Ata chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mai stiram abhyasa yogena tato mamip chaptum dhananjaya. Now saying if you cannot fix your mind. Now Krishna is giving lower degraded options. Best option is what he spoke in the previous verse, right? Always fix your mind and intelligence in me. This is the goal, ultimate goal. All the time our mind and intelligence is fixed in Krishna. Now Krishna is saying, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, that means that intermittently you're fixing, or only off here and there you are fixing your mind upon me, then follow regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, because this is Raga Anuga. Previous verse is Raga Anuga. Love. Only in love can one think about somebody else without deviation. So Krishna is saying, okay, if you cannot love me, then you do Vaidhi Bhakti and follow regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. And in this way, develop a desire to attain me. So this is very important. Unfortunately, we do Vaidhi Bhakti, but we don't have a desire to attain Krishna. We don't have a desire for attaining love of Krishna. So Krishna is saying, desire, develop a desire. So we have to develop this desire. But Krishna, I want to achieve Krishna, your love for you in this life. That desire we have to develop. Parallelly, we might be following Vaidhi Bhakti. That's okay. We might not have come to Raga Anuga stage. That's okay. Krishna is saying it's fine. Because this is just the first lower level option. As in, the best option is Raga Anuga. Second option is Vaidhi Bhakti. In this verse, two different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna by transcendental love. This is what I said, Raga Anuga, Prema. And the other one is for one who has not developed an attachment for Supreme Lord by transcendental love. For the second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow. So this is Vaidhi Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga is a purification of the senses. Any yoga is a purification of senses. At the present moment in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can become purified. And in the purified state, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. So this is very nice. See, when senses become purified, they come directly in contact. So there is nothing else to be done except just purify the senses, meaning purify our consciousness from sense gratificatory thoughts, right? We become purified, then we directly come in contact with the Supreme Lord. There is no some major process, something else to be done to come in touch with the Lord. Simply with pure senses, we serve Him. That's all. How do I understand this slightly better? So, for example, if suppose we are engaged in hearing Krishna Katha, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, whatever, and the mind is not going here and there, then we are in contact with the Lord. Simply focused, attentive hearing about Krishna brings us in touch with the Supreme Lord. Now, to the extent that we are in touch with the Supreme Lord, we are purified to that time, to that extent. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money. And the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there's no question of love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service performed with present senses. Prabhupada is saying, so perform Vaidhi Bhakti and eventually you will still achieve Prema. Meaning will come to Raganuga stage. But Vaidhi Bhakti is the path, is the way to approach. This love of God is now in a dormant state in everyone's heart, and there love of God is manifested in different ways. But it is contaminated by material association. The heart has to be purified. So there's love in the heart, but it is contaminated now. That contamination means lust. So now this heart has to be purified, and the dormant natural love has to be revived. That is the whole process. So this lust has to be converted back to love. So I had one realization to share. Because I've been going through some health problems and all, and I was thinking, oh Krishna, I want just a healthy body so that I can serve you. And I was reading Kapila Muni's instructions, and what came out was that even expecting material comfortable situation for doing bhakti is also an indication of lording it over. Meaning, I think that this material body is mine and that it should be in a good condition to serve Krishna. First of all, this is not pure bhakti. Second, this also has, there is also this aspect of trying to enjoy this body by not having any problems. That also is an enjoyment. So this is also lording over material nature, lording over mode of trying to lord over material nature. And one who tries to lord over material nature, he cannot be happy. So, wanting even a healthy body and not getting it will create a situation of unhappiness for us, which means that we are not on the transcendental platform. So all this has to be purified. So our only mantra should be, whatever state I am in, Krishna, please engage me in your service. Please give me association of your devotees. This has to be the only mantra. Anything else is contaminated, not Shuddha Bhakti. To practice regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. Vaidhi. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter temple, offer prayers, chant Hare Krishna, collect flowers, offer deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow, and one should constantly hear, satatam, nityam, hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. For us, this is not a problem because we hear from Srila Prabhupada. This practice can help anyone to rise to the level of love of God, and then he's sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. I was hearing one lecture today. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was saying, he was saying that process bhakti is very easy. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Prasadam, or dancing, singing, Prasadam. But he said that's okay. But for one who wants to make serious progress, he has to give up material sense gratification. So this practice is good on one end. On the other end, we have to give up sense gratification. Then it will help us progress to spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. Vaidhi Bhakti will bring us to Raganuga Bhakti. Beautiful purport. So this is the second stage. First stage is Raganuga, love of Krishna. Second stage is Vaidhi Bhakti. Now Krishna is saying, Abhyasepya samartosi matkarma paramo bhava madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Saying if you cannot practice regulations of Bhakti Yoga also, Prabhupada explains in the purport, some people might have opposition. And then he's saying, just try to work for me, mat karma, Krishna karma. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Even by working for Krishna, slowly and steadily, we will come to the platform. We might come to Vaidhi Bhakti and then Raganuga, or we might come to Raganuga directly. It depends on Krishna's mercy. One who is not able even to practice regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of spiritual master can still be drawn to the perfectionist stage by working for the Supreme Lord. How to do this work has already been explained in the 55th verse of the 11th chapter. This is Krishna Karma. We discussed this. One should be sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who engage in propagation of Krishna consciousness. They require help. So even if one cannot directly practice regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, labor. Just as in business, one requires a place to stay, some capital to use, some labor, and some organization to expand. So the same is required in the service of Krishna. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. Now, if we don't know how to do this, then we should approach spiritual masters and ask him. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office or temple for propagating Krishna consciousness, or he can help with publications. There are various fields of activity, and one should be interested in such activities. If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one rise to higher stage of love of God, whereupon one becomes perfect. So this is very, very important for grihasthas. Grihasthas have to give charity, have to donate for the cause of Krishna. And that itself will purify. We won't know. Suddenly we will realize saying that, oh, I'm purified from so much anarthas. So we have to work for Krishna. So this is the third option. Work for Krishna. Fourth option, ataitadapya saktosi kartum madhyogam ashitaha sarva karma phalatyagam tatak kuru yathatmavan. He's saying, now if you can't work for me, then try to act by giving up results of work. This is nishkama karma. Give up results of work. Meaning don't be attached to the results of work. And try to be self-situated. Self-situated means don't engage in sense gratification. Be situated in the self. Know that I am not the body, I am spirit soul. I am just doing work as a matter of my duty. I am not attached to the results of the work. It may be that one is unable even to sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness because of social, familial, or religious considerations, or because of some other impediments. If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who has such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. There are many descriptions of sacrifice and special functions for the full moon day, and there is special work in which result of one's previous action may be applied. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. So do some good work, he's saying. It is also found that when one who is not even interested in the activities of Krishna consciousness gives charity to some hospital, to some other institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. This is also recommended here because by the practice of giving up fruits of one's activities, one is sure to purify his mind gradually. And that in that purified stage of mind, one becomes able to understand Krishna consciousness. But this is a very gradual process. Giving general charity. Prabhupada is saying that still it removes this, me and mine kind of mentality. So that is also good. It will gradually bring us to Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna consciousness is not dependent on any other experience, because Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind. But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. In that respect, social service, community service, etc. may be accepted, so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, we find it stated, Yata pravrittir bhutanam. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. Yata pravrittir, whatever is one's propensity, just engage. So here, basically giving up results of work. So Raganuga Bhakti first, second Vaidhi Bhakti, third Krishna Karma, fourth is Nishkama Karma. Fifth, Shreyo hi gnanam abhyasat gnana dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phalatyagas tyaga chantir anantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage in gnana. Better than gnana is dhyana, and better than dhyana is karma tyaga, karma phalatyaga. Or by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So that karma phalatyaga, nishkama karma, then below that is dhyana. If that also is not possible, then jnana. Jnana is the lowest. As mentioned in the previous verses, there are two kinds of devotional service. We have regulative principles and the way of full attachment in love. For those who are actually not able to follow principles, it is better to cultivate knowledge, because by knowledge one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation. By meditation, one can be able to understand Supreme Person of Godhead by a gradual process. In the cultivation of knowledge, there are processes which make one understand that one himself is the Supreme. That sort of meditation is preferred if one is unable to engage in devotional service. This is Nirakara Brahman. If one is not able to meditate in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature for Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Varnashrama, which we shall find in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But in all cases, one should give up the results of fruits of labor. This means to employ the result of karma for some good cause. In summary, to reach the Supreme Person of Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process by gradual development, and the other process is direct. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and the other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities slowly, karma, karma yoga, gnana, etc. Then one can come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding super soul, then to the stage of Supreme Person of Godhead. One may take either the step-by-step process or the direct path. Direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna, because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, realization of the super soul and Brahman should be followed. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is a direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here.
Bro, I have a question. In the translation, Prabhupada mentioned that better than acquiring knowledge is basically meditation. Better than meditation is giving up the results of the karma, nishkam karma. So basically, then karma yoga is one level above than nishkam karma, right? Because that is in relation to the Krishna. So is Prabhupada saying here? I mean, what we can recommend refer is that is karma yoga is better than dhyana yoga and jnana yoga?
Yeah, so it depends on the propensity of the person. So because Krishna is telling Arjuna, Krishna cannot tell Arjuna go into jnana, because Arjuna is not a gnana person. Arjuna is a karma person. So for a karma person, first you have to say do karma. So for a person, based on the propensity, that is why Guru knows best. Guru will recommend based on the nature of the disciple. Prabhupada said two sannyasis, one sannyasi he said you stay in one place, another sannyasi he said go. Generally, if you see textbook says sannyasi should travel, but he told to one sannyasi don't travel. That is Guru, right? He knows. So for Arjuna, because Arjuna is, that is why first 6 chapters are Karma Yoga. Why? Because Arjuna is Grahastha. For a Grahastha, you can't go and tell him Jnana, stop everything, don't do any work. Can't. So it is from that perspective, because this is being told to Arjuna. So karma, Krishna karma, otherwise Nishkama karma, otherwise Dhyana, otherwise Jnana. Some action is required for Grahasthas.
So basically, this is not, there is no necessarily fixed order. It can actually change big depending on the situation of the person.
Depending on the individual and Guru. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yes, true.
Okay. Anybody has any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, sir. Not
If Jnana is actually like lower side, general people actually like where this like there's a lot of big gap, right?
No, I didn't understand it.
Yeah, like Jnana is like lower side, right? Lord Krishna is recommending. In that case, like normal people, general people, like
Karma. So general people karma.
Karma, but yeah, karma is they give, right?
No, Nishkama. At least they should do Nishkama karma, which means they should do karma without attachment to fruits. If not, use the fruits in Krishna service. If not, work for Krishna. That is why you see for in Kali Yuga, there are combination processes. Right? So in Kali Yuga, we are saying you do bhakti on one end and then you also do karma yoga. Then slowly karma has to keep reducing. Karma has to become zero. And then as karma starts reducing, bhakti has to start increasing. Because propensity to work is there. We cannot stop. Propensity to enjoy is also there. But also we cannot artificially stop. So we have to introduce bhakti into our life. That is why none of these, like I was saying, it's not fixed path. So Kali Yuga right now, this is parallel path, but this is for Grahasthas. For Brahmacharis, there's no question of karma. So it is the full bhakti, like that. Dhyana, anyway, we don't have to worry about dhyana. Dhyana, jnana and all are lower forms. They're not possible for mostly people in Kali Yuga and for devotees like Arjuna, like Grihastha, Kshatriya. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Others are all okay. Happy, satisfied. Actually, we should say happy. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, we should feel happy. Okay. Anchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Yes. Your network is not so good. Maybe you should type. Okay. The network is not okay. It's breaking. Yeah. Try to speak.
Yeah. Prabhuji, if we are not attentive sometimes while hearing, is it offensive?
It's not offensive. I mean, we might not be doing it intentionally. Mind will just go here and there. It's okay. I mean, these things have to be just corrected.
Even if it is thinking with respect to bhakti or the services.
No, that we should not do. We should always try to do one service at a time. If you are hearing, we should do Shravanam service. Every service has a time, right? So generally, I see even in temple, there is kirtan going on and people are chanting on their chanting bags, or classes going on and people are chanting. You can't. We are not superhumans to do two services at the same time. It's not possible. You have to just try and limit to one service. It's a matter of practice. These are not offenses. It's just anarthas.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. We'll end today. Hare Krishna.